Roger Goodell still bowing to the woke mob, calling on teams to hire more black coaches like that somehow matters. 80% of NFL players are black, and I don't see anyone calling on teams to hire more white players. So why is it different when it comes to coaches? Good question. There were 10 coaching vacancies this offseason. Every team interviewed black candidates. So far, 9 white coaches have been hired. So now the NFL is pushing to require that all teams interview at least 2 minority candidates every time they have a coaching vacancy, instead of just hiring whoever it is they deem the best person for the job, like it should be. Sage Steele is host of the Sage Steele Show. She covered the NFL for more than a decade for ESPN. Sage, so nice to have you back on. The New York Times, they publish this headline every single year. The NFL hired 0 black head coaches. That tells you everything you need to know. Why does this matter so much to the NFL, Sage?
Well, listen, I think it's been pretty consistent from the National Football League with Roger Goodell over the last however long he's been in office, that equality, whatever that means, but equality matters. And yes, they have caved quite often to the DEI, woke mob, et cetera, including with what's happening with the halftime performance for this week's upcoming Super Bowl.
Right.
And he's absolutely fine with Bad Bunny not speaking any English in America's greatest sporting event. That's a story for another day, I guess, or maybe even later. At the end of the day, they're always trying to please everybody, and that is absolutely impossible. There are parts of me that I do understand a league that is 70% black to have more representation at the top. I mean, people are complaining that there's no black owners as well. Well, there are opportunities for ownership for sure. We have many, I mean, hundreds of black people who have been extremely successful in business throughout this country who could probably afford to go in. Why aren't we seeing more of that if you want to talk about the very, very top?
Yeah.
Because they're decision makers, aren't they? Aren't they the ones who actually make that final decision on hiring? Does it have to be perfect and equal? No, because there's no such thing. I do believe the intent of the Rooney Rule back in 2003-ish when it was instituted, like the heart of it was good, right? Let's make sure that everybody is getting an interview. It's no different from women entering the sports space back when I was trying to, and there were so few women. But to make it a mandate is where you get into trouble. And then I think a couple of years ago, maybe 2022.
Sage, that's what they're trying to do. And look, there's only 32 NFL teams. And these owners, these jobs, people own teams in some cases for decades. Think about Jerry Jones, think about Robert Kraft, so when a team becomes, available and it goes on the market for sale, look, anybody can buy it if they've got the money. I want to ask you about the halftime show. Roger Goodell was asked about Bad Bunny, who you just brought up, performing the Super Bowl halftime show. Take a listen.
This platform is used to unite people and to be able to bring people together with their creativity, with their talents, and to be able to use this moment to do that. And I think artists in the past have done that. I think Bad Bunny understands that, and I think he'll have a great performance.
Okay, so Bad Bunny, you said it, he sings in a foreign language. He wears dresses on stage. He kisses men on stage. He'll definitely say something negative about Donald Trump or ICE or both. Can you explain how that is the right choice, how that unites us, according to Roger Goodell?
Yeah. Well, it obviously does not. And I don't think deep down in Roger Goodell's heart, he actually believes that this is the best choice. But we also know that the NFL has sold out in many ways. And when Jay-Z and Rock Nation are actually making decisions for who performs at halftime, then that really is enough said. My problem has nothing to do with diversity. Bring them all in. We all love diversity, starting with what? Diversity of thought. But when you have a performer who is coming in saying how hateful he is of America, the country that made him a gabillionaire, basically, and spewing the hatred that he does, refusing to speak our language in the biggest event of the sporting year calendar for America every single time. I think that's my problem. And to throw it in the faces of all of us by saying, hey, when this was announced, you have 4 months to learn the language so you can understand my halftime performance. That's the problem. But it goes back to leadership, right? And as the commissioner, I mean, I guess, his bosses are the owners. They could say something as well, but there's so much silence from everybody. In the meantime, it is pushing people away. Are people going to go and turn on the Turning Point USA halftime show instead?
I am.
Which is streaming on all their platforms.
Right.
Yes, I do think there's going to be a lot of hate watchers, and I'll probably be one of them, to see just how gross, maybe not, but Bad Bunny is going to be because he's so hateful. I just think there's so many other great potential artists out there that love America and love football. Think back to Prince, Purple Rain in Miami, that Super Bowl 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, think back to Whitney Houston doing the national anthem in Tampa. Yeah,
right.
No,
right.
it's
hey, Rob, can I add one thing real quick? Because
Please.
I want to make sure you know this. When it goes back to the Rooney Rule and the hiring, in 2022, they said affirmative action, like, and if you interview or hire a black coach, we're going to give you a draft pick. Like, that's how deep this has gotten, where there's almost like bribery. But all I know, as a woman of color, I want to be brought in for my skills and for earning the job, not because of the color of my skin. And I know a lot of these black coaches who are position coaches and coordinators in the league, and they want to be brought in based on what they bring as a coach, not because of this. So I think they're going about it the wrong way. Sorry, I had to make sure that was clear.
No, you put a bow on that nicely, Sage. Great to see you. Enjoy the game this weekend. And I just want to add this. The NFL is a multi-billion-dollar machine. They are a juggernaut. But they might not be forever if things like this continue. And I know it's difficult to see the forest for the trees right now. I say that to people and they say, well, the NFL is so big. How can you beat the NFL? Well, it's stuff like this that's peeling away people that really care about the league. I love watching my team on Sundays. But the rest of it, end racism in the end zone, I think it's stupid, and I think it turns people off every Sunday. And eventually it's going to turn enough people off to make a difference. And I think Roger Goodell's the wrong guy to lead this league. 15 seconds, final thought.
No, I completely agree. And I think when you say end racism, and in the meantime, we have 70% black players, all of whom are making at least $1 million and up. I don't know. Is that racism? Is that, as Draymond Green likes to say, is this, some of these guys, is this slave labor? I don't think so. Just stop and enjoy the game. This is the uniting force of the NFL, and instead they're dividing.
I'm with you. Great to see you, Sage Steele. Thanks so much for being with us.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.